So I started out homebrewing as a hobby, and it eventually led to a career. So I thought, if I'm gonna do this, I might as well do it right and learn as much as I can about making beer. So that's what I did. I went to UC San Diego, I got a certificate in brewing, and it was what I learned there that changed my perspective of beer forever. So there was a specific part of the curriculum that focused around sensory. You know, how beer tastes, smells, all that kind of stuff. And you might be thinking, wow, that's great. You got to drink all these different kinds of beers. Wrong. There was one specific class that almost ruined beer for me forever, and that was off flavors. So, as you might be able to tell, this class focused on teaching you all the bad flavors that could develop in beer, what causes them, and how to be able to identify them in beers that you're currently drinking. So you had to sit there and drink these beers spiked with these disgusting off flavors over and over and over and over until you knew for sure that every time that you drank a beer, you would be able to taste if an off flavor was in there so that you could identify where it came from and prevent that in future beers going forward. Because you were training to become a professional brewer. You couldn't just send out product that was flawed like that. So after I finished this class, I couldn't go to a couple bars and breweries that I used to like because I could taste the mistakes that people were making in their beers. It's like when a friend points out a car that they like a Tesla, and then you start seeing Teslas everywhere on the road. But, you know, with bad flavors in beer. Oh, man, it was hell. I had such a hard time drinking beer for a little while after that. But you know what they say, misery loves company. So I'm gonna be teaching you about some of the most common off flavors that I find when I'm going out and about. Diacetyl is probably the most common off flavor that I get when going out drinking. It tastes like popcorn butter. It leaves this like really weird slickness in your mouth. And the most common cause is from not properly cleaning your lines. But it can also be caused by improper fermentation. See, diacetyl is naturally formed during fermentation, but if it's allowed to sit on the yeast for a certain amount of time, it can turn into a compound that's flavorless called 2,3-butanediol. So if your brewers know what you're doing, you shouldn't be tasting diacetyl in your beer. So T2N, or trans-2-noni now, is what happens when oxygen gets into your beer and causes it to go stale. It starts to taste like cardboard or paper, kind of like when you lick the sticky part of an envelope before you're gonna seal it. Now there is a number of ways that oxygen can get into your beer, but the most likely one is packaging, either bottles or cans. So if you ever go to a brewery and they get a crowler filled and they don't purge it with CO2, well, you better drink that fast. Lastly, there's two different sour notes that I find pretty common. It either tastes like vinegar or it tastes like sour milk. Now these are caused by beer spoiling bacteria such as Acetobacter, Lactobacillus, or Pediococcus. So if you're getting those kinds of flavors in your beer, just dump it down the drain. That stuff's contaminated and something got in there. Well, now you know some flaws and off flavors to look for in beer. So go on out there, go try some different beers, come back, leave a comment, and tell me how much you hate me. And then while you're at it, you know, like and subscribe because it helps the channel a little bit. So cheers, don't forget to keep it sudsy, and I'll see you next time.